All right, let's come on to the back. And close your eyes, relax. This is always one of my favorite parts of the class, just coming into the moment, letting go of expectation, letting go of any kind of agenda. It's really a special thing to have an hour to spend moving our body and just being aware of it, really feeling it. I know that may not be how you think of yoga, but that's how I'd like you to think of it, is we're just going to spend an hour moving the body in different ways and noticing how the body feels in each of those positions. Not trying to force the body to do something, but also having some faith in it, right? Being willing to put the body in a position that we've never put it in before, to take it to the point where we maybe have been afraid to try or do something before. That is very, very valuable. Okay, let's begin our three-part breathing. So we inhale belly first, ribs and upper chest, and exhale, reverse that. This creates a wave-like motion. And that is sometimes referred to as complete or three-part yogic breathing. In Sanskrit, it's called dirga. Okay, so creating that three-part breath. And then layering on top the ujjayi sound, which is like fogging a mirror. So with your mouth open, but then you just close your mouth and continue making that sound. It shouldn't matter whether your mouth is open or closed. You should still hear that kind of hissing sound. It may not be as loud with your mouth closed. The tricky part might be doing that on the inhale as well. So that might take a little bit of practice. And as always, I think you both know this, if you ever have difficulty with one of these techniques or a question or it's unclear, just reach out and let me know. We can spend a little bit of time before or after, or at a different time to learn the techniques properly. All right, let's bring our right leg in. We'll begin warming it up and just kind of saying hello. I was watching a video by a massage therapist, and they were talking about how, before you work on a part of the body, you just kind of place your hands on that part of the body and say hello. And it's like just letting that part of the body know that you're there and, that what your intention is. I like that. And I think that's true even of our own bodies, working with our bodies. So we're just sort of saying hello to the legs here. We're going to be working the hips and the hamstrings. So we're just kind of moving them around a little bit. That's going to create fluid flow into those areas, blood flow. That's going to begin warming up the tissues. Now, since we're doing hamstrings today, let's spend a little bit of time with this one. So just straightening and bending that leg a bit. And what you want is when you straighten the leg to create a little bit of a stretch here. It doesn't have to be super strong, but a little bit of a stretch. And again, that's just kind of another way of saying hello, letting the muscles know what what our expectations are, you might say, what we're planning to do with them, just letting the body know that. All right, then we'll hold. So I think you've both heard me say in the past that, a static stretch and a dynamic stretch, they bring different things to the table. Now I'm actually going to bend my left knee because today that feels right. So the left leg, again, can be straight, can be bent, but this feels better for me. And again, I'm just giving those hamstrings a little stretch, sending my breath there. And if I'm doing this properly, the body should respond by just letting go a little bit of any tension that's living there on the exhale. All right, so let's release that leg and we'll exhale and bring it down. And then we bring the left leg in. So same thing on the left side. In my body, this is the kind of cranky side. At least it's been that way for the last few years. And I'm not sure why that is, but I do notice it. Did a lot of walking and hiking, as I often try and do over the weekend. So again, really feeling that in my hips, in my leg here. So I'm going to try and use the movement to release as much of that discomfort and pain and stiffness as I can. Will I get rid of all of it? No. There's still going to be some there. I can feel it. But I definitely feel better right now than I did a few moments ago. So I did that just by moving the leg around, right? Just by, again, blood flow, muscle stretching, engaging, all of those things, very helpful. All right, now we get into a little more targeted stretching. So again, hamstrings are what we're working today. So again, just kind of saying hello, telling the muscles that we're going to be doing this. That's how I like to start the class, just kind of saying, hey, we're going to be stretching you out a bit today. And then we can walk the hands down the legs. So you'll see I'm grabbing my big toe. Again, I'm going to bend this right knee because that just feels right today. So I'm grabbing the toe. I'm actually placing my right hand on the knee to help straighten out the leg. It wants to bend a little bit, which is okay. But I'm going to try and focus that stretch a little more. And then again, very important breathing. The body, I can feel it. It actually kind of tenses up and resists. And so the breath is just telling the body, hey, it's okay. All right, exhale. Let's release that leg down. And now we'll bring both legs in. This can also be very pleasant, both legs. So usually a little more focused on the spine and the back when we have that. Okay. And then let's go ahead and hands under hips, palms down, legs up, lift the head and neck. And exhale, we lower those legs. Inhale, pop them up, and exhale, pop up to seated. Okay, coming into a tabletop, hands and knees. Let's do a few cat-cows here. So tailbone lifts, belly drops, crown of the head up. Exhale, tuck, tailbone around the back, crown of the head down. Very simple spinal warm-up, but simple doesn't mean effective. Doesn't mean it's not effective, rather. It doesn't mean it's not perfect for what we want to do. So again, this really works well. And again, I can actually feel it in my body as I repeat. My spine, the kind of crankiness that can be there when I back bend, it dissipates with each repetition. Now again, at a certain point, more repetitions probably will not create more change. And I think I'm at that point now. So once I get there, I can bring my knees together and then exhale, hips to one side, inhale, center, exhale, hips to the other side. So you don't have to follow, you don't have to do as many as I'm doing. You don't have to switch when I switch. I just want you to explore both of these as ways of, again, getting the spine and the hips and the muscles of the torso ready. Again, this is kind of like hello to these muscles. Just saying hello, waking everything up. And again, like when we wake up in the morning, we can be kind of cranky. So the muscles can be like that when we first start moving them. They feel kind of cranky, like they don't want to move. But once we give them a cup of coffee, a little bit of blood flow, then they are much more ready. Okay, from there, we, when ready, come back into a down dog. And then now the lower extremity comes into play. So yes, we got the hamstrings already, but we didn't get the calf muscle. We didn't get the toes or the feet really. So that's what we're doing here. Again, just saying hello, waking them up. You know, and again, exactly how you move. I want that to be based on what you're feeling. So I have a lot of tension in my calves right now. So that's why you see me pedaling back and forth, back and forth. I'm trying to get some blood down in that area. Okay, so full expression of down dog. The hands shoulder width, fingers spread wide, chest drawing toward the toes, feet hip distance, and heels reaching toward the ground. I see a lot of very narrow feet in this posture. And it's not that that's dangerous, it's just not as stable. So maybe try feet a little wider if you have a narrow stance and see how that feels. See how that feels very stable and strong, like a table with 4 legs, right? 4 legs firmly planted. When your feet get too close together, it's almost like a tripod, which is still stable, but the 4 legs it just has a different feel to it. All right, let's walk our feet toward the hands on the exhale. We'll grab the opposite elbow and just really release into this forward fold. So you're just using just enough energy to keep from toppling over or falling over. And then just some gentle movements again to stretch the back. The hamstrings usually do stretch here. So especially if you sway side to side or you bend one knee, you'll stretch the opposite leg usually. So again, what do we feel here? Some people end up with hamstring injuries for whatever reason, from running or doing some activity, sometimes yoga. And those can be very difficult to heal. So sometimes even years after having an injury, you might still feel it on one side. All right. Arms relaxed. Inhale, roll up to standing, stacking ears, shoulders, hips, knees, and heels. And let's do a few rounds of Surya Namaskar Sun Salutation. So feet touching. On the inhale, we draw arms up, touch palms, and lift the heart. And on the exhale, we come forward and down. Palms flat, bend the knees if necessary, let the neck relax. Inhale, let's come to fingertips or take hands to shins. And as we exhale, we plant those hands, step the right foot and then the left back to the top of a push-up. As always, align ears, shoulders, hips, knees, and heels. Wrists directly below the shoulders, and then again, shoulders active, so you're pressing the ground away. Let's take a deep breath. We're going to exhale, drop those knees, bend those arms, take a breath here. It's kind of an awkward position, difficult to hold. And then exhale the rest of the way down. On the inhale, let's lift our hands first, head, neck, chest, maybe upper abdomen, and then just place the hands down without pushing into them. And that's Cobra, Bhujangasana. Good. Exhale, lower down. Press back to tabletop, tuck toes, and then the downward facing dog. Okay, so let's do another round. Inhale toes and exhale front edge of the mat. Inhale standing back bend up and back. And then grabbing the right wrist, we exhale to half moon, stretching the right side. Inhale center and stretch your left side. Good. Inhale center, exhale forward fold.
Inhale, half lift, and then exhale, left foot back, and then the right top of your push-up. Okay, as you both know, knees up or down, your call. Take a deep breath, exhale, halfway down. Inhale, straighten the arms and legs for up dog, otherwise repeating cobra. And then as you exhale, pull both feet at the same time, and then lift your hips up and back, returning to a down dog. Okay, one more. Inhale to the toes, exhale, front edge of the mat. Inhale, standing back bend. Exhale, half moon. Inhale, center. Exhale, half moon. Inhale, center. And exhale, sit into your chair. Awkward pose, Utkatasana. Good. Inhale, standing back bend, up and back. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale to the half lift. And then this time, if you're able, exhale, both feet, bottom of your push-up. Inhale to the up dog or cobra. And then on your way back to down dog, let's do a push-up as we make our way back. All right, great work. Hopefully you're feeling warmed up. Now we're going to get into our hips and legs a little more, get into our hamstrings a little more. So feet touch, inhale, right leg up and back. And this is a three-legged dog. So foot flexed, toes, knee, and hip point down, right? We do that a lot. So hopefully familiar. Let's exhale and lunge. And then we'll inhale up into, it's basically warrior two, but we're not gonna talk too much about that. This is like a triangle prep, basically. That's what I'll call it, triangle preparation. So we just inhale up to this. The knee can be straight or bent, whatever. That's not that important. Just come up, arms are raised out, and then pivot the hands, legs straight, toes forward, right, the front toes. The back toes either point straight to the left wall or they angle in slightly. We just don't really want them pointing back, okay? And then from there, I exhale, lengthening my sides. So sides nice and long. And then I pivot into the extended triangle, Utthita Trikonasana. So hopefully you can see my, not this side, not the left side, but the right side. Right, it's long. I'm not like rounding. Can you see that? Where I'm rounding, I can touch the ground if I round, but I don't want to do that. I really want that length. So I'm higher up, but my sides are long, my chest is open, my belly's open, the gaze is up. Okay, so again, many people think it's like something magical if they can touch the ground or something like that. There's nothing magical that's going to happen there. So keep the integrity of the openness in your torso. Use a block if you need it. You can also place your hand on your thigh or on your shin like I'm doing right now. Very intense stretch for me. So right in here, the inside of the groin, the thigh, the hamstrings, getting a little bit of a stretch, okay? All right, from there, we'll inhale up, bend that knee, and exhale, cartwheel down, bottom of the push-up. Again, you'll see me turn a bit today. That's just so I can continue facing the camera. I think it's kind of weird if I'm facing away from the camera when I'm teaching online. Okay, side two, feet touch. Inhale, left leg, three-legged dog. Foot is flexed, toes, knee, and hip point down. Okay, so you just get as close to that as you can. And I will mention awareness is super important with this one because, if I have my knee bent, if my hip is open, and I just don't even realize it, then, I'm not going to do the pose properly. So try and just be aware of where your body is in space, okay? All right, exhale, lunge, and then again, inhale. This is called triangle prep. So it's not really a pose, it's a preparation for a pose. So legs are straight, heels are down, right? Front toes facing forward, back toes face the right wall or angle slightly, okay? The arms are right out to the side. We pivot the hands open to the right wall there. And again, I like to reach, and then pivot the arms, okay? Nice openness in the chest and belly. Again, for me, most of the stretch is here. There is some here as well. So again, it's possible that over time, this tension will release more and more, and then I'll be able to go down further while maintaining the integrity here. But for now, this is about it, I think. You know, otherwise I'm starting to compromise that integrity of the diaphragm and the breathing apparatus just to bring my hand down further, you know, maybe to look like I'm more flexible than I am. So again, I'm definitely feeling it here, right? Some people might think that I'm kind of holding back. No, I feel the stretch. When I keep the right integrity of the posture, the stretch is there. If I collapse everything, then I don't feel a stretch anymore, right? If I round and bring my shoulder forward, I don't feel any stretch. I can go a lot further. But again, I'm giving something up. All right, let's inhale back up and we exhale, cartwheel down. Bottom of the push-up, make your way to downward dog. And let's take a look at some seated postures today, which we don't often do too many of in this class. So inhale to your toes, exhale to a seat, and let's take a look at what's called Marichyasana A. So to do this posture, what I'd like you to do is bring your right foot in. See, it's very close to my hip. The outside edge of the foot basically lines up with my hip. And there's about a hand's width space from the inside of my right foot to the inside of my left thigh. So when I see people do this in person, one of the mistakes they often make is their foot is right up against their thigh. That's not what we're doing here. There's some space there. Okay? So I'm going to activate my left foot. Notice my left foot, the toes are pointing up, right? And then from here, we can just inhale, arms up, and we exhale, and we try and grab that foot. Now, what if you can't grab the foot? A couple of suggestions. One is just bend the knee, reach down, grab the foot, okay? Another suggestion, take a strap, a belt, a tie, put it around the foot, and use that to come forward, okay? So you're coming inside of this right leg here. And then the full expression of the pose actually has a bind. So if you're able to, notice I'm reaching around my shin bone, right? And then I reach back behind me, and then I'll clasp my opposite wrist. So it's called a bind because my leg is now bound by my arms. And then I try and bring my forehead toward my knee, you know, so I'm forward folding. A lot of people get kind of hung up on whether or not their right buttocks needs to stay on the ground. It does not. Don't worry about it. If it wants to come off the ground, let it. Good. Let's inhale up and exhale, let it go. Side two is called Marichyasana. Okay. So left leg, create a little bit of space. Again, about a hand's width. All right, foot is flexed, toes point up. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward and down. Now again, that might be it for you. That's totally fine. Or you may be able to bind. And then either way, once you have the bind or holding the foot, bring your forehead toward your knee. Good. So inhale, we'll come up to seated, and exhale, we release the pose. Okay, good work. Let's cross those ankles. Exhale, bottom of the push-up, making your way back to down dog. And we'll continue from there. Okay, from our down dog, let's inhale to the toes. We exhale, front edge of the mat. Inhale, standing back bend, up and back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, step, jump, float, bottom of the push-up. Make your way to down dog. And again, you can do a push-up on your way back to down dog. All right, great work. So continuing on, feet touch. Inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale the foot to a lunge. Walk that foot to the right a bit, and then drop down as low as you can, maybe to your forearms. Hips are forward and down. This is called lizard. Now with all the postures, we want to drop or go deep enough that we feel the stretch. We also, if there's integrity in the posture, we want to maintain that integrity. But this posture doesn't have that much in terms of like alignment and, keeping things straight. So just basically sink down, forward and down, drop down. And at a certain point, you should feel stretch in the right thigh and hip. I actually feel it my left side as well. So this is, again, kind of loosening up the connections between my torso and my legs, right? That intersection, basically the hips. It's helping me find tension that's there, that lives in my hips that I might not otherwise find. Okay, let's return hands to the ground. We're going to inhale that leg up and back. Exhale, lunge. And let's inhale up into our triangle prep, and then we're going to flow our triangle a bit. So exhale, triangle pose. This is one we've done before. So inhale up, I pivot my feet around, right? And triangle pose at the other end of the mat. Good. So let's just flow that. And again, why do we do that? Because repetition, flowing repetition has a certain kind of effect on the tissues and our flexibility, different than when we hold a stretch, okay? So both are beneficial. This is why we don't really want to just pick one. Okay, next time we come around, we do our triangle, and then, or actually, sorry, I'm wrong. Let's come around right before we go to triangle, and then we're going to exhale, hands to our hips, okay? Let's step the back foot in, square the hips off. So again, if you had headlights, they would be pointing straight ahead, not off to the left, right? Straight ahead. Legs are straight, heels are down. And then inhale, arms up, right thumb over left, and then with a nice straight spine, try and come down as far as you can. And then at a certain point, you'll need to round your back. Bring your hands to either side of the foot. And then again, forehead toward the knee. So similar to Marichyasana, except now we're standing. Okay, good. Inhale, bend the knee, look forward. Exhale, bottom of the push-up. Again, I'm going to turn just so I can keep facing the camera here. Okay, side two, feet touch. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, lunge, and then take your lizard. So again, how far down you go, whether you're using blocks or staying on your hand, all of that's going to be dictated by where you find the stretch. So for me, it's right about here. I'm going to use my breath to try and soften that tension. Okay, hands return to the ground. We inhale the leg up and back. Exhale, we lunge, and inhale to triangle prep. Let's do a little flow. So exhale, triangle. Feel the triangle, right? Right about there is where I feel it. Inhale up. And then keep going till you feel it right about there. Now you might find as you repeat, you have to go further to feel it. That's exactly kind of what we want. That may not happen, but it may happen. So I do want to mention that. You know, you might find, hey, I have to go a lot further to feel the same stretch. That's exactly one of the reasons why we repeat movements. The body tends to adapt to movement that is repeated, meaning it becomes better at movement that we repeat. That's why musicians practice, right? Oh, sorry. Here we exhale, hands to hips, right? This is before this last one. So hands on the hips, we step that back foot in enough to square the hips, okay? Toes are facing forward. Legs are straight, heels are down. Inhale, arms up, left thumb over right. And then again, trying to keep that length in the spine as long as we can. Eventually, we'll have to give it up. Most people will anyway. And then I round. Forehead toward the knee. I can walk my hands back, intensify the stretch. Okay, inhale, bend that knee, look forward, exhale, bottom of the push-up. From your down dog, let's inhale to the toes, exhale to a seat. So, you know, you can step forward, but you can also jump through. Finding a seat now, let's go ahead and do another posture related to Marichyasana. So we're sort of building up here. So you can repeat Marichyasana if that was a really challenging posture. Maybe this time you bind, maybe last time you weren't able to. Feel free to use a towel or a strap or something to, you know, if you can't quite reach. But if you're ready for the next step, this time we take the leg and you can cradle it, just give it a little stretch, move it around a little bit. We're kind of waking up those rotators there with this, right? Just the hip in general, just getting some mobility in that hip, making sure it feels pretty good. And then what we'd like to do is I'm going to take my peace fingers, right? The pointer and the middle, and I'll grab my big toe with those fingers as though my big toe were a bowstring. Then I'm going to reach forward. I'm going to do the same thing with my left toes, except my left toes, I'm imagining that that's a bow. So bowstring, right leg, bow, left leg. And this is called the archer. Okay. So I pull back on my bowstring. I'm looking forward at my target. Okay. And that's like I'm trying to shoot a bow at a bullseye, right? The further I pull back, the farther and the straighter my arrow will fly. Now, of course, requires a bit of mobility and flexibility in the hips. So again, key is do the best you can. It may not look like mine, not that mine is perfect. And then again, if you can't do it at all, repeat Marichyasana, right? Okay, exhale, let's release that side. Side two, same thing. I can begin just by making sure this hip and leg are kind of ready. We don't want to shock them or surprise them. That's very often how people get injured, is they before something is really warmed up, ready to go, they try and do something a little too ambitious. So grabbing the bowstring and the bow, and then looking forward and pulling back. Again, this posture is another one that really kind of reveals the tension between the legs and the torso and the hips, right? So I feel it both in my legs and my torso, maybe more so in the torso here. Good. Again, a few breaths. It usually takes a few breaths before that initial tension that kind of pops up disappears. So that's why we hold it there. All right, crossing those ankles. Let's exhale, roll forward, and you can vinyasa or go straight to down dog. Okay, inhale to the toes, fill the lungs. Exhale, front edge of the mat. Inhale, standing back bend, up and back. And exhale, forward fold. Let's inhale to a half lift, and we exhale. Bottom of the push-up. Inhale, up dog. And again, push up on your way back to down dog. All right, we're about halfway through. So continuing on, feet touch. Inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, lunge. This time, let's take that leg, put it on our shoulder like a backpack. Hands shoulder width or so, maybe a little wider. Gaze up. Inhale, lift the right leg as high as you can lift it. All right, so I'm trying to lift that heel. If I can, I'll straighten the leg, but you can see I can't. That's not important, okay? But the heel is lifted. Good. Let's inhale that leg up and back. Exhale, lunge. Okay, and then we inhale to our triangle prep. Exhale, triangle pose, right? Good. Inhale back up. Pivot the toes. And exhale, triangle pose. Good. Now let's add in our pyramid, Parsvottanasana. So we do that just by swinging that arm down, right? Inhale, swing the arm up. Pivot, turn, right? Triangle first. And then you kind of tease the pyramid by swinging the arm down and swinging it up. You should feel the pyramid stretch. Let's do that again on both sides. So here, and then swing it down. Good. Inhale back up. Pivot, turn, and exhale. Sweep it down. Good. Inhale, sweep it up. All right. Now, let's do triangle, pyramid, and then once you're in pyramid, step the back foot in, square off the hips, right? So make some adjustments as necessary. Those pyramids that we were doing while flowing, they weren't, all the alignment wasn't right or perfect. So let's try and get that little closer to how we want it to be here. Nice long spine on the inhale. Exhale, plant the left hand. Inhale the right hand up, and that's called rotated triangle pose. Good. Just exhale that hand down, bottom of your push-up. Make your way back to down dog. Now, I've been doing this for a long time. These postures are still intense. I can definitely feel that they are creating hermetic stress in my body, okay? So even though I may be able to do all of them, they still are stressful. They're still challenging in their own way. Okay, side two, feet touch. We inhale left leg. Exhale, lunge. Put on your backpack, right? Look up and try and lift that left heel Hopefully you can see my heel is actually off the ground. I don't know if that's coming across in the camera, but heel is hovering. Good. Then we inhale that leg up and back. Exhale, lunge, and inhale, triangle prep. Exhale, extended triangle. Inhale. We'll do that on the other side, extended triangle. Right, inhale. And then let's go ahead and add the pyramid. So triangle first, and then just sweep the arm down. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, other side. Sweep the arm down, sweep it up. Good. One more time on each side. Okay. Again, repetition, helpful, even if boring, right? And then this time, triangle, pyramid, and then rotated triangle, right? So let's get the hips and legs where we want them. Extend that spine. Feel free to use a block, okay? So that's a personal thing. That's based on proportions. Right hand to the ground, left hand to the sky, rotated triangle pose, okay? Good. From there, let's exhale that hand to the ground, and we make our way back to downward dog. Okay, inhale to your toes, exhale to a seat. Bring our legs back out in front of us. Here's where things will get more challenging, even for the quite flexible amongst us. So even if you've stretched a lot, done a lot of yoga, this may still challenge you quite a bit. So this is Surya Yantrasana, the compass pose. Let's bring that left foot in. Let's bring the right leg up into our hands again. And what we'd like to do is, like we did a moment ago, we're going to take that leg over our shoulder. Okay, but now we're seated. And then I take my right hand and place it to the ground. Pretty much the hand can face where comfortable. And that's kind of like a lever and a kickstand. And then I take my right leg, I straighten it, and I look away from that leg. Good. Exhale, release. So again, really working parts of my body, the hamstrings. Interestingly, the arm as well, the arm that's holding the leg, definitely feel the stress there. So begin just by taking that leg. Now again, if this is too much, you can repeat Archer, you can repeat Marichyasana, which we did earlier, right? So again, visually, aesthetically, my posture isn't that pretty. My leg's not straight. I'm not able to straighten out my torso completely. But that's not important. It's the stress I feel here. My shoulder's being worked. My leg is being worked. And I can learn to create equanimity, right, by breathing there. Even though I'm experiencing a lot of sensation, I can learn to use my breath and my awareness to stay calm, stay centered. That's one of the huge values of yoga practice. Okay, from there, we exhale, making our way to down dog. From down dog, we inhale to the toes. Exhale, front edge of the mat. Inhale all the way up to standing back bend, and exhale to a forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bottom of the push-up. Make our way to down dog. All right, home stretch, everybody. So, Ekapada Kondyanasana is an arm balance. May not have access to it today, that's okay, but we've worked up toward it, and it does help us with our peak posture. Peak posture might actually be a little bit easier. So you can try this one. Feet together, inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, straighten that leg and lift the back leg up, balancing on your hands. Again, I don't know if the angle is very good. I don't know if you could see that I was bouncing on my hands alone, but that's the idea. Exhale, lunge, and let's inhale up to triangle prep, right? And then we exhale, triangle. Inhale up, pivot, triangle, exhale, right? Inhale up. Let's add pyramid. So triangle and then pyramid, inhale up, pivot, triangle and pyramid. Try and make those movements as graceful as you can. Now this one's tricky, okay? So pivoting all the way around, left hand to the ground, right hand to the sky, next to my right foot, right? In other words, left hand next to my right foot, rotated triangle. Then inhale back up. Whoops. Again, these are challenging. So you might find yourself losing balance as well. Okay, other side, rotated triangle. Good, let's inhale back up. Pivot all the way around. And then rotated triangle. Let's exhale that hand down. And then inhale the toes up toward the ceiling. Walk the hands toward the standing leg. And if you can, grab the standing leg with one or both hands. It's called standing splits. As you can see, mine barely looks like a split. It's not very good. I just don't have that much hamstring flexibility. I doubt that I ever will. Not for lack of trying, folks. Not for lack of trying. So again, this stresses the system in a beneficial way, the cardiovascular, the respiratory, the muscular, right? And that's going to benefit us long term. All right, exhale, bottom the push-up, and we'll make our way to down dog. All right, one more side to go. So feet touch, inhale left leg up and back. Exhale that leg high up on the arm and try and lift the back leg up, balancing on the hands alone. Both legs are straight. Good. From there, inhale the leg up and back. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, triangle prep. Exhale, triangle. Inhale up. Exhale, triangle. Inhale. Triangle first, and then pyramid, right? Parsvottanasana is the name of that one in Sanskrit. And triangle, Parsvottanasana. And then this is the tricky bit, right? So exhale, rotated triangle, inhale up. Pivot all the way around. Rotated triangle. Inhale up. Pivot. Rotated triangle. Exhale the hand down. Inhale, lift the right toes toward the ceiling. Walk your hands toward the standing leg and then maybe grab the ankle with one or both hands. Good. Deep breath. Exhale, bottom of the push-up, making your way to downward dog. Okay. So inhale to your toes, exhale to a seat. last active posture. We might do a few cool downs, but this is one of the postures that we've been working up toward. It's called Ashtavakrasana. So we've almost done it. Okay, if you've been able to keep up thus far and do most of what I've pointed out, then you are almost already able to do Ashtavakrasana. Okay, so remember the compass pose, Surya Yantrasana, right? We take this leg, we put it over our shoulder. Okay, so again, we've already kind of done this when we straightened it out, right? This time we're not going to straighten the leg. Instead, I take my left leg. I'm not mirroring, just FYI. Okay, I take my left leg and I hook it over. Now my feet, if I point them, they just kind of slide off, right? So I'm going to flex my feet and lock them, okay? And then what I'd like to do is bring both hands to the ground, maybe a little wider than shoulder width. First thing I check is, can I lift my tush off the ground? Hopefully you can see I'm lifting my tush up. Now feel free to put your hands on some blocks. That may help, okay? The question just is, can I lift my tush up here, right? So this is already pretty accomplished if I can lift my tush up. If you can do that, from there, you begin straightening your legs and then tilting your torso toward the ground, and your legs kind of pinch your arm, right? The right arm. Again, I'm not mirroring you, so give that a shot. Again, you can hear I'm out of breath. I'm hot. You know, that's what a hermetic stress does, right? It doesn't keep us in a calm, relaxed, easy state. We want that. We want to seek that out. And that's what these postures do for us, is they safely and effectively get us out of that comfort zone so that the comfort zone actually becomes wider and we get healthier. Let's try the other side. Okay, left leg, put it over, hands to the ground, shoulder width, feet flexed, gaze forward, and then I lift my tush and see if I can straighten out my arms, and that's called Ashtavakrasana. That means 8 angle, and it's actually the name of a yogic sage. All right, great work, everybody. Let's just unwind onto our back. We'll bring the legs in. So I don't know about you, but forward folds, they tend to always put at least some strain on my back. So I'm definitely feeling that now. So I'm going to use this opportunity to just kind of massage my low back on the ground. Okay, from there we can also do a nice twist for a few breaths. This can help reset the back as well. Dropping both knees to the left. Good, we'll inhale knees through center. We'll take them off to the other side. Same idea here. You can just let the breathing be natural. Good, we inhale knees back to center. We'll grab the soles of the feet and just a tiny bit of happy baby here, just to kind of, again, loosen everything up, prepare the body to let go and relax in Shavasana. And when you feel you're ready, you can unwind. Heels apart, palms up, head centered. As always, I encourage you set a timer for 6 minutes and see if you can just let your body rest for those 6 minutes.